Hey guys, welcome back to the GM's table, and we're back with some more Let's Run Savage Worlds. Last week we did a small discussion on time travel, and I did say this week we're going to cover another weird topic of alternate universes. Now this is going to slightly touch on time travel as well, or you can incorporate some of these rules. I'm going to do it loosely because it's a very simple system into your time travel games for long-term effects. Now, I'm going to be real honest. I had to come up with this pretty much on the fly because I had a player who was willing to come into my new ETU campaign, but he was really, really attached to his character from my very, very first ETU campaign. And the thing is in that campaign, they failed to save the world. Now, they did in a way where kind of the universe and the multiverse began collapsing in. Those characters actually went on a couple extra adventures because they started falling through different universes. So we ruled he can show up, but he's from a different ETU timeline. And then we were like, okay, so we're dealing with different timelines. How can we have fun with this? How can we make different universes and different timelines feel interesting? Also, how do we govern things like he goes, well, I used to practice at this dojo, which was in that game. There was a dojo he would practice at. It's where he honed his martial arts. It's also where he met his girlfriend and all of this stuff. And I went, you know what? We can just have a really simple mechanic for it. And what I'm using is, as with many things in Savage Worlds, a deck of cards. Now, he wanted it to be like the specific card determines the degree of it, which you can do. I think that's more of an art form and a loose thing. You could make a huge table where, like, from 2 to 5 is this, and da-da-da. But when you're dealing with something as narrative as changing a timeline, or changing timelines or alternate universes, I feel like a table is going to constrict you a little much. So I actually like, kind of similar to the interludes, where just the suit gives you the broad strokes, and the rest you go from there. But it does spark what direction to go. So how we handle it is, if he asks me, what about this? And they gotta be somewhat broad topics or an important NPC. I draw a card. If it's a spade, things are actually a little better in this universe than the other universe, which does mean, and he's starting to realize, oh man, all the bad guys we convert back to good guys might still be bad guys, because they actually do a really good job at like talking people into fixing their ways and stuff. But some of those bad guys that stayed bad guys might have never become bad guys in this universe. That's a spade. A spade means things are at least a little better. Now again, degrees. A 3, it's barely better, but it's slightly. Then we have the one you tend to really hope for in a multiverse game, hearts. Yeah, I said spades usually the best, but again, this is an improvement, so I put it on spades. Hearts is status quo. If you get hearts, kind of assume for the most part it's exactly how you had it. People might remember some things differently when we start tying like one situation to another, and if that situation is different, obviously people remember things differently. But that NPC or that location is fundamentally unchanged in this universe. It's the big belly burger of this universe. It's kind of a quantum constant. Then you have diamonds. Diamonds can be seen as bad. Sometimes it's for the worse, sometimes it's for the better. But no matter what it is for diamonds, it's weird. It's off. It's kind of an uncanny valley situation. Things seem the same, but you can tell something's different. Now, this can be used great if you need a comedy scene. But it's stuff like that, where fundamentally, a lot of the mechanics shouldn't get better, shouldn't get worse. They're just off. Maybe a male player is a female, or male NPC is a female NPC. Maybe someone has a slightly different job, but it's just as useful for your situation. Things like that. Heck, even maybe the sign for a place is a different color if you only draw like a 2 or a 3. It's different, but not enough to really change things. Just enough to feel like it's a different universe. Then we have clubs. Clubs I just flat out call darkest timeline. But really it means it's worse here. Situations are worse. NPCs might be in a worse situation. Villains might be more powerful or have succeeded further along their plans in this timeline. Obviously, the higher the club, the more it is worst possible timeline, or darkest possible timeline. But clubs is just stuff's gotten worse in this timeline. You asked about in this timeline, this isn't going to either, it isn't going to be as helpful or it's a bigger threat. And finally, Joker. Yeah, I end with Joker because there's only 2 in the deck. But Joker, I flat out call it, you tell me. Because that's what it is. I tend to do this a lot if we're doing narrative draws and a Joker comes up. Same with like interludes. You tell me what's different. Now, obviously, we're going to have some, we need to agree upon it. So it's not like, oh, well, he has everything I need for the entire rest of the campaign, and I'm just going to go to him, and boom, campaign's done. But Joker, typically it's going to be good, but you know what? A player might choose for it to be bad if they really want to, and honestly, if they were to get a Joker and choose to really put themselves in, if you put the party, including yourself, I'll count it, in some serious dire straits, you're probably going to get a Benny from me. But Jokers are, you get to tell me how it changed. You get to decide what is cool or weird or different about what you just asked about in this universe. That's it. That's all you need. Now, I said this will tie back to time travel. Well, again, you went into the past. Some things changed. You survived. We talked about the anomaly Benny system. But you come back, maybe not everything's the same. Pick 3, maybe 4 items and draw them. Just, did this change? Did this change? Things like that. You can figure out what's different, because even if you go back in time and things seem right, I personally feel it should almost never feel like you come back to the exact same universe. You're screwed with time travel. It also works if you go into the future and you go, well, how have things progressed since we were gone, or since we hopped through time? And you can see that. That also works really well for long hiatuses or long downtimes. Maybe you have a sequel where your adventure takes place 5 years after your last adventure and you're re-catching up with these characters. You can look to see how things changed. This system works for all of that. Again, really simple system. There's 5 things. You can put it on a list, but really you don't need to. It's better, same, weird, worse, Joker. Just call it Joker. It's a Joker. You tell me what you wanted to happen. Boom, done. That's it. That's all you need. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't want to come off ranty, but this is where I was like really, really disappointed in Fear Agents. Because when Fear Agents was coming out, they were like, this book's gonna deal with time travel and alternate universes, and it's gonna be covered in the book. And in the book, there's like a paragraph that basically goes, yeah, this stuff exists. No mechanics for it, nothing for it. And I get, it's a tricky thing, it's a very nebulous thing. This is loose enough to handle that nebulous stuff. The Benny mechanic from last week, loose enough to handle that stuff. Which also means if you're running Fear Agents where they say, oh, it can handle this and all, I get it being narrative and accounting. Now, I do feel like I should also make a note. This is for when you don't know what changed. Obviously, if you're doing like a sliders game or the alternate universe is a big part, which it really kind of should be, and you know they're going to a universe where something specific is what's different, and that's like the fundamental thing. Maybe it's the story hook. Maybe it's just something you really know you want different. You don't draw. Again, just like many things in Savage Worlds, any tables or anything, you draw when you want to. If you have a narrative hook where something you want it to be different that way, do it. This is for when you go, oh crap, I didn't even think of that thing. Well, we draw. Boom. Done. Covered. Let's keep moving. This is for when you want the fast things, the small things, the things that maybe catch you off guard, not your big narrative hooks. Now, you could use this. You could maybe have a list of like some core tenets of your universe. So, you know, you're planning an alternate timeline game or something like that. You go, all right, I'm really tapped. I'm out of story ideas. Boom, draw for a few things and go, all right, well, if this is different, we now have a template for the universe they're going to go into. What stories can come out of that? You can also do that. Anyways, that's it for this week, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye. If you like that video, check out another video over here. Whatever it is, it's probably pretty good. Don't forget to like, share so other people can find the channel, and subscribe right up there. YouTube now won't let me put a link to the Patreon, but there is a link down in the description below. So if you want to help support the channel, check that out, and I will catch you guys next time.